2 goals straight, 12. There is another big game happening today at Mazzucchelli Oval. The reigning premier Chapman Valley host to top place Railways. Railways won both previous clashes this year, and Chapman Valley are hoping to turn the table today. And the final game of this round is up Mullawar, with the 6th place home side taking on the 4th side Brigades. And when they've met in previous occasions this year, Brigades have won both. They won the first by 64 points and they won the second time by 44 points. So it's a big day up here at Northampton, and a big day for both Northampton and Towns. Towns have stuck with their true and proven side. They've got pretty much the same side as they've had for much of the year, but they have got some good players in. Jay O'Brien returns for another game, and it'll be interesting to see how Northampton play. We haven't seen Northampton, Peter Firenze, since we were in Kalbarri for the June long weekend. On that day they were exceptional and almost caused a mini upset when they almost beat Railways.
Yeah, good afternoon, Glenn. Yeah, it was a good performance by the Rams on that particular day. They come off a loss to Mullawar the week before and were smarting somewhat and really took it up to the Blues, but a lot has gone under the water, has gone under the bridge since then, and they really do have it up against them, against Towns, which have been improving continually throughout the season, and now have 3 wins in a row, Glenn, and that certainly their tails will be high in the air as they come into this game to consolidate their 3rd position on the premiership table.
And in fact, Peter, if they win today and Chapman Valley lose, Towns will go in the 2nd spot on the premiership table. So very interesting. But Chapman Valley are a game behind. They have still got 4 games to play, whereas Towns have only got 3 games to play.
Yes, so it's a false sense of security in little ways, isn't it? The fixturing.
And Chapman Valley have got a far greater superior percentage.
Yes, especially after last week.
Yes, so we'll be interested to see what happens and how it plays out today. But 3 big games in the country, and it is a magic day here in Northampton. Beautiful drive to Northampton today. The crops are looking good, and of course more rain forecast for tomorrow into Monday. And we've got 3 very good umpires in control for the GNFL this afternoon: Theo Bennett, Randall Starling and Cody Miguel. And Randall Starling to get the game underway this first term with thanks to Community Bank Geraldton. And Towns the favourites. Can they get the ball out of the centre quickly? No, they can't. Northampton do. Goes the way of James Williams. He gets a handball away to Woodcock. Northampton players pushed in the back. Free kick will go the way of that player, and Northampton go forward through Max Bramwell. Bramwell goes out wide, looking out there for the run of his teammate. Ball goes quickly into the forward line, looking up there for Hebley. Hebley goes by hand to Williams. Williams quickly on the boot, shoots towards goal. Goal umpire on the line says that's a goal, and Jamie Williams gets first blood of the afternoon. And on the TMS scoreboard, which is the Technical Maintenance Services scoreboard, we can see that Jamie Williams gets the first goal for the Rams. So away to a lovely start.
Tyler Caddy doing a lot of good work there in the middle there, Glenn. He set up that passage of play.
Yeah, he's a very good player, as we know. And Tyler Caddy comes over from Kalbarri each weekend to support his Rams, and he's a premiership player, of course, and now continues to contribute.
Against about a 3-goal breeze, that too, Glenn, if you look at the windsock straight across from our broadcast position here at the country club here this afternoon. But first blood going to the Rams. Northampton 1 straight goal leading Towns yet to open their account. Back in the middle now, players setting themselves up, they go. Morphew almost won the ruck, but not on this occasion. The ball goes to ground. There was no win on either side. No ruckman got prime opportunity there. The umpire will throw it up once again. Goes the way now of that player, and I'm talking about Morphew again, and moves into the forward line for Northampton, who can set something up once again, but that player, he has other ideas. As Captain Courageous, or I don't know if he is Captain Courageous, but he is one of the heroes of the Town side, and that's Ron Farris. He gets it out to the group of players in front of us. The player is caught in possession. That player is Jay O'Brien. And a 50-metre penalty as O'Brien remonstrates with the umpire and will take this player right up. That's Callum Teagle. And Callum Teagle sporting an interesting haircut, and it will take Callum right up into the scoring zone, that's for sure. He'll be about 25 metres out from goal when he gets onto this one, Glenn. Kicking toward the Northampton end, as I said, against about a 3-goal breeze when it's blustering, and it is blustering this afternoon, so probably evening out as 2 goals. So Callum Teagle, can he get the second goal on the board? Yes, he does, and in as many moments, Northampton has 2 straight goals here on Adrenaline Mallee Game Day.
Yeah, Callum Teagle wouldn't look out of place in Melbourne. He's here on the Rams Percher International Oval this afternoon with his new haircut, as Pete mentioned. But a great start to the Rams, and Northampton has put it straight towards Towns to say we're here for a game this afternoon. And so the Towns key players have gone to the centre. Lachlan Morphew's there, Drew Forrester is there, so too is Jay O'Brien and their coach in Bo Walker. But they haven't seen much of the ball because Northampton have been getting the ball out of the centre. They've been doing it very well. Robert Jansen is one of the players in there, along with his teammates Rex Hebley. And this time the ball comes to ground again. In goes the Northampton player working hard there, and Mac Hoffhammer. Ball spills, goes the way of Woodcock. He quickly gets it boot to ball, kicks it up the ground, looking up there for Eastoff. Eastoff very close to the boundary line. The ball comes back into play. Umpire's seen a free kick. It'll go the way of Towns. So Towns have it on centre wing on the other side. Ball with DeLacy. DeLacy gets it forward, looking up there, but a Northampton player takes a good mark and holds on to hold the ball very well. So Northampton have the ball on half back on the Ram Pavilion side of Percher International Oval. Ball goes forward, and that man in Gus Hebley played a very good country week for the GNFL. Hebley kicks it up towards half forward, looking up there for McQueen. McQueen can't hold it. He gets a handball back, gets in the way of Tyler Caddy. Tyler Caddy shoots on goal, and on his right boot he's get a minor score. And on the technical maintenance service scoreboard here, which is also the Malcolm Gould scoreboard, we can see the Northampton putting pressure on early in the first 4 minutes. They are 2 goals, 1-13, and you're tuned to Radio Mumma, your home of GNFL football, with thanks to Community Bank Geraldton.
Tyler Caddy figuring predominantly early for the Rams. 2 goals, 1. It hasn't even been in the forward 50 for, or in the half for Towns at this stage, as Ron Farris comes out and unaccustomarily stuffs up a kick into the man on the mark, goes back the way of Northampton now. Can they clean up what was messed up by the Towns defender? Gee, that's very strange for Rowan, isn't it, Glenn?
Yes, he doesn't do that very often, but he'll work on it and he'll rebound. Don't worry about that.
Okay, Ron Farris. He's going to kick to the outer side, the pavilion side here at Northampton. Players setting themselves. The Towns player went up a little bit too early, which meant that the free kick will go the way of Northampton into the back of his opponent. The ball comes inboard now. The lead coming from Jamie Williams. Lively early is Williams, but on this occasion the Towns custodian gets the ball further down ground in the middle. Can Towns do something with it here? As I said, they haven't had it in their half of the ground to this point. Early stages though, totally dominated by the Rams. As we see the umpire blow his whistle, and a free kick will go the way of the Rams players. So of the half-back line now, Northampton, the commanding lead at this stage, early stage one would think, 2-2, that's 14, leading Towns yet to open their account, but Towns are away now through the guise of the player there in Leon Jones Jr. He gets it to the outer side. They need that speed into the half-forward area now. And probably running into an open goal. It will be an open goal, and it is by the goal stick himself, Jalen Parsons. He doesn't let the goal go by, Glenn, and he scores a much-needed goal for the Bulldogs.
Yeah, Jalen Parsons coming off 8 goals last week. He knows how to kick the
Did he play country week, Glenn?
He did, yeah. He was a bit injured when he went there, but he certainly played as well as he could.
One of few big bodies that we had there.
Yeah, he didn't look out of place down there, which many of ours did because they were a lot smaller bodies, and Jalen is a big man and he knows how to kick a goal. It's great to see. He must be high up on the goal kicking. I'd look at the budget if I had one, but I can't tell you exactly how many goals he scored, and I'm not going to go back and add them all up. But
no, and that's some area we don't go, Glenn. Adding up, that's for sure.
No, that's right. It would take us all week and we can still get it wrong. The ball comes back to the centre. And we're underway again in this first term with thanks to Community Bank Geraldton. Northampton get it away, but only as far as Callum Marquis for the Towns. He goes back in, retrieves it this time. He's put on good pressure. Umpire gave him the liberty. The ball spills, comes back to the Rams. They run through the centre, and a beautiful left foot kick from the young player there. Gets it up towards Gus Hebley. He couldn't mark it. Ball comes to ground. Northampton putting good pressure on. Ball spills out, goes the way of McQueen. McQueen gets it up the field, looking up there for Jordan Drage. Drage tried to soccer it. Ball comes back towards Towns now, and the Towns defenders steady under pressure. The ball comes back to the player there for Towns, who goes back into trouble in Lewis. He goes by hand to a teammate. Goes the way of Walker. Walker goes by hand to Rowan Farris. Rowan Farris takes a bounce, comes across half back, kicks it up towards half forward, looking again for Parsons. Northampton there in numbers, so too is Kai McVie. Feeds it out, gets in the way of Jed Johnson. Johnson gets it up forward in towards the centre wing, but the ball is picked up now by Towns, and Arthur Garland is that player. And the free kick goes the way of Drew Forrester.
Forrester sends it across the centre of the ground, but the intended target doesn't equal the task as the ball goes back toward Northampton now. Down the ground they come through the guys of Gus Hebley. Both Gus and Rex figuring in today's game as the ball goes back the way of Northampton's Williams. He shoots on goal, goes across the face, comes off hands and through for the minor score. So the intensity of the Northampton side cannot be argued with at the moment. Ball coming out of defence. This is where Towns are falling down. Usually one of their strong points as the ball goes away of the Bulldogs now. Parsons has come right down the ground to get a touch, and off he goes, just like Usain Bolt. Or should we say Gout on this occasion, but he's brought to ground.
Good tackle.
It was almost tripped, but it's seen as a tackle.
But it was similar to that tackle that brought down the West Coast player the other day. He snatched him and dragged him back.
Kai McVie on the half-back line. Sends it down in front of our broadcast position. Up they go. Forrester first hands to it, but goes the way of the Northampton. Northampton, his opposite number there. Jed Robinson is there. He gets it out of the pack into space. Picked up now by a Towns player in Taj Satie. He puts it back into space, and Northampton player is set upon. The umpire is unsighted as that player is driven into the ground, but the ball will be thrown up just metres away from our broadcast position.
Yeah, 9.5 minutes gone as umpire Miguel puts the ball into the air. Ball slapped away from Morphew. Morphew gets it away to a teammate in Taylor. Comes back towards Northampton, and a good bit of play there from the Northampton player in Mac Hoffhammer. He gets it up the ground. Picked up now by the young man, and Peter Hampton. Peter Hampton runs into an open goal. And he's missed it. Unbelievable. His eyes lit up. He couldn't believe his luck. He was 15 metres out from goal, running on a 45-degree angle, and the ball goes through for a minor score. On the technical maintenance services scoreboard, Northampton are 2 goals, 4-16. Towns are 1 goal straight.
Yeah, a little bit too quick. He to get rid of the ball. Probably had time to run it right in and just hope it in the end as Northampton get another bite of the cherries. They send it now. And there's Hampton again. He gets into space. He'll help pay it off now because it goes the way of Drage, and Drage finishes off with a goal for the Rams.
So Northampton get their 3rd goal of this first term, so they have certainly started well, and a good bit of play. Hampton...
That'll make him feel a little bit better.
Yeah, it certainly would, because he would have been very disappointed with himself, but the young man recouped. His second effort there was very good. Got it out to young Jordan Drage, and Jordan Drage, the experienced and a very capable player.
Wasn't it?
Yeah, good effort from Jordan. And on the TMS scoreboard, it is Northampton 3-4-22. Towns are 1 goal straight 6. So we've got a real contest happening here at Percher International Oval this afternoon. Beautiful conditions for football. A little bit of breeze favouring the golf club end or the Geraldton City end of the ground, the southern end. Probably worth 1 to 2 goals. And
you'd lose your ball in that green at the moment, or that fairway, Glenn.
Yes, if it got down there, they'll never see the ball again. The ball to be thrown up by Theo Bennett. Lovely to see Theo back umpiring in the GNFL. Ball comes the way of Towns now, though. Ball picked up by the Towns player in Arthur Garland. Kicks it up towards full forward, looking up there for the big man in Parsons, but Woodcock's there. Gets it over to a teammate. He comes out looking for the run of Simon Dupont, but the ball very close to the boundary line. There'll be a boundary throw-in on the clubroom side of Northampton Oval, just in front of the Towns coach's box. And
beautiful conditions for footy, Glenn.
Couldn't ask for better, could you, Peter?
No. Bit of a chill in the air.
It is that for sure. We're all aware, round 13, and of course we're doing it today for the Freemasons Hotel in the GNFL Premiership season. And the ball was held to that player, and umpire Bennett will come and throw the ball up. Yes, cold conditions as we head towards more rainy weather perhaps tomorrow. Maybe that'll break up the cold weather. Let's hope so. Ball comes the way of Northampton. They go the way through Jamie Williams. He goes by hand. Gives it the way of Harris. Harris goes the way of Geordie Drage. Umpire says nothing in that. Goes the way of the Towns player there in Hoffhammer. Ball comes back towards Lockie Morphew. Ball slapped away from him. Goes the way of DeLacy. In goes Leon Jones Jr. Can he get the ball out? Has the ball held to him? Umpire said he had no prior opportunity, and umpire Bennett will come in and throw the ball up once more in a real tightly contested game here at Northampton.
Yeah, the Rams have the sway, that's for sure. Coming into this game as underdogs. Towns are fighting to get on top this afternoon. Goes away of Sadie. He loses possession. The ball spills free. Back to the Rams player there in Kieran Harris. Harris looks for support inboard. Is tackled before he could get rid of it, but the umpire says he had no prior opportunity, and Harris gets the free kick. He sends down toward Drage now. Over his head it goes, and his opponent, and out on the boundary. This quarter brought to you by Community Bank Geraldton. And don't forget, this is Radio Mama, the home of GNFL football, on relay to Radio Geraldton. The ball coming in now, players setting themselves. There's Morphew. He grabs it and tries to get rid of it, only as far as the Northampton player there in Mac Hoffhammer. I should say Bo Walker apologised. No, it was Hoffhammer. I do apologise there, because I think there was a Hoffhammer that was playing for Towns at one stage.
No, there is a Hoffhammer. There's one on each side.
Yeah, which is confusing for me. Yes, that's right. We'll come into the half-forward area. Let's see what Northampton can do here as it goes into space, and running out is the big Callum Teakle, and he is unable to lean over and get the ball on this occasion, and it spills over the boundary. In deep attack once again for the Rams.
Yes, Peter's in the right area for Northampton to get another score on the board. They need to make hay while the sun shines. Ball goes the way of Teakle. He slaps it to ground, but Northampton are there in numbers. Morphew goes back in, gets it away to a teammate. He gets the ball up the ground in Lewis, but the ball was cut off, and Northampton have the ball on centre wing on the outer side. In goes Trent Simpson. Gets the ball forward. Is that Trent? I'm not too sure.
Nice kick
playing today. Don't think Trent is playing today. Ball goes the way now of the other Towns player in Rowan Farris. Farris kicks it straight up the ground, looking up there for Jalen Parsons. He does well, grabs the ball, takes one bounce, two bounces now, breaks across half forward, kicks towards an open goal, ball running free, and it bounces the right way. Yes, it does. And the Parson has got a goal, and a very, very important kick from Jalen Parsons. Towns get their second of the afternoon on the technical maintenance service scoreboard here at Northampton's Percher International Oval. And Northampton, 3 goals, 4-22.
I'll tell you what, Christopher Trarker would have been proud of that one, Glenn. He came bounding out of the centre, took no prisoners, and certainly judged himself. As I said, he's got a breeze at his back. As I mentioned, the breeze is favouring that end, I should say. And he used all of it and scored a much-needed goal for Towns. Evening up the score somewhat on the sscoreboard. It is Towns 2 straight goals, 12 trailing. Northampton 3-4-22. Ball coming back to the middle now. Jalen Parsons, one of the monsters in the competition. He certainly showed it on that occasion. Back in the middle now.
He's got 2 goals now.
He has.
2 goals, yeah.
And it goes away now of Caddy. Caddy onto his boot for the Rams into the half-forward area, looking for Peter Hampton there. Hampton has been figuring early. Doesn't get on that occasion. The ball spills free. There's Farris. He gives it to a teammate. Down the wing that teammate comes, but only finds the sanctuary of the boundary under a lot of pressure. And the ball will be thrown in once again. A few people out here at Northampton this afternoon. Great conditions. The country club is buzzing. Of course, up against the AFL Derby this afternoon. But we've got a good game on our hands here right in front of us. Local and live. You're listening to it on Radio Mama, the home of Geraldton football. I should say GNFL football. The ball going the way now of Jackson Luff. He gives it up for a free kick going the way of Jamie Williams. Williams, the Country Week player too, sends it across the face of goal. Beautiful lead. And the mark there was taken by taken by Gus Hebley. Now, the Hebley boys have had a bit of the ball early, Glenn. So Gus Hebley will have a shot on goal. He'll kick from about 35
He's a very good kicker of the ball.
He's directly in front, but against a breeze, but it hasn't seemed to be.
It
has dropped away. That's right, Glenn. So Gus Hebley, in he comes now, kicking toward the Northampton end. He's got a bit of a toe poke in it. Is it going to drop short? Yes, it does. And a beautiful mark.
Jack McQueen.
It's taken by Jack McQueen, wearing the long sleeves, and he was waited at the front of the pack and just put up his go-go gadget arms and took a fine mark.
Pretty disappointing effort from the defenders, really. They didn't punch the ball away.
He was
clearly in front.
Clearly in front, but standing on the ground and took the mark. And an awkward kick, but a straight one. Doesn't matter how you kick them. That's another goal to the Rams, and they go to 4 goals 4.
Yeah, a good result for the Rams. They've really started the game full of running, and they are to be congratulated on their first term. There's still a long way to go in this contest, and we'll know that Towns will keep coming, but they have started well. It should give them a lot of confidence, and a great goal there from Jack McCree. He was the front of the pack and kicked awkward goal, but he was dead in front.
A beautiful leading mark by Gus Hebley earlier, Glenn, to set that up.
Yes, so the ball will return to the centre.
Caddy's been dangerous in the middle.
He certainly has. Ball with umpire Bennett. Puts the ball into the air. This time the big fellas go at it, and a good toss one there, or a good tackled one there by the player there. Teagle gets it up the ground, but only as far as the defender in Josh DeLacy for the Bulldogs. DeLacy kicks it back towards half forward, looking for Taj Suddy, picked up by Caddy. He goes with a short handball to the young man in Angus Reynolds. Ball goes out towards centre wing now, and the ball is with the Northampton player on the far side. Gets it up the ground, looking again for Hebley, and he takes a very good mark. Hebley right on centre wing on the Ram Pavilion side of Percher International Oval. Umpire says play on. He does now. Kicks it up there, looking up there for some Northampton colours. In goes the young Northampton player in Rex Hebley. Ball comes back towards the boundary line. Pushing the ball out for Towns is Jay O'Brien. He gets the ball up the ground and picks out a teammate there and finds the player in for Towns, who gets it up towards the player in Callum Marquis, back from a little bit of a stint with the flu in recent weeks. Gets it up, gets it away of McGregor. McGregor goes by hand to DeLacy. Towns starting to run now. DeLacy gets a kick forward, up towards half forward. Ball running free. In goes Arthur Garlett. He goes through traffic. Arthur Garlett shoots on goal, and he's got another one for the Bulldogs. And on the TMS scoreboard, which is the Technical Maintenance Services scoreboard, a good goal to Towns. And Towns have been very accurate. Towns are 3 goals straight, 18. They trail Northampton 4-4-28. So a 10-point ball game as we head into time on in this first term, with thanks to Community Bank Geraldton.
Yeah, end-to-end footy now here at Perth International Oval, and we are certainly enjoying it on the veranda of the Country Club as we see Towns try and even the score somewhat on the scoreboard. They started behind the 8 ball somewhat with Northampton quick out of the blocks, but steadily pegging their way back. But the game certainly is at a stalemate at the moment. A sink start to even up on the scoreboard. 28 plays 18, a 10-point ball game. Only moments left, you would think, here in the first term. The ball coming out off the boot of Caddy once again into the half-forward area, and it's Bramwell who almost takes the mark, gets it to a player who's almost caught in possession in Robert Jansen. That player is caught in possession, going the way of Callum Marquis now. He's a talented player, is Marquis. He kicks it to the outer side. Running onto it on this occasion is Cale Corlett, but the whistle does sound as Corlett is caught in possession. And off the halfback line, the ball is with Northampton. Being curtailed in their efforts in coming forward now as it comes across the face of very dangerous play. It was a dangerous kick, as you heard from my co-commentator Glenn Barton. Towns do the better out of it, as you'd expect, into the half-forward area. Player couldn't take the mark. The ball goes toward the boundary and spills over in the half-forward area for the Bulldogs.
Yeah, the dying stages of this term, probably 2 or 3 minutes to play in this first term. Been a very good quarter from Northampton. Can they keep the run up? They've got the work ahead of them because Towns have got 3 straight goals. They've been very efficient in front of goals. Northampton probably not quite as efficient as they would like to be, but they still hold a 10-point lead, which is a great result for them against the Breeze in this first term. In goes Marquis. He held the ball. Umpire said, no, it's okay. The ball goes back towards Towns. Goes away Brendan Taylor. He gets it on his left boot, but a whistle on play. A free kick. A Towns player has been crunched illegally, and the free kick will go the way of the Towns players. Taking a while to get up off the ground. Cam Holmes stands the mark at centre half back, and the player for Towns gets up and shakes himself off, and he's ready to go. So the ball is with Kane Johnston. Kane Johnston with the ball for the Bulldogs. Still a long way from goal. Kicking towards the city end. Kicks it up, but he's picked out a teammate all on his own. Player couldn't hold the mark. Umpire says you're caught in possession, so the free kick goes the way of Northampton. So Northampton can go clear from the back pocket, but Northampton once again, they don't mind crossing the ground. They say we're going to go down the Ram Pavilion side, and that's what they do. They pick out Cam Holmes in the back pocket on the outer side, the Ram Pavilion side, and he's looking for some movement. He's decided to go along the line, which is probably a safer bet. Goes the way and finds Jamie Williams, who's picking up kicks this afternoon. Jamie Williams, who played his 150th game a few weeks back. Jamie Williams with the ball on half-back. A veteran now, one of the leaders at the Rams, but he's tried to take them on and he's caught in possession. So Towns now will get the ball moving quickly as they go up towards the forward line, looking up again for Jalen Parsons. But Jalen Parsons sees the ball across the boundary line. And there'll be a boundary throw-in the left forward pocket, about 30 metres around from the left point post at the golf club end of Northampton Oval.
28 plays 18. Towns are trailing. That's right, Towns are trailing. Northampton got off to a pretty good start in the early stages, early couple of minutes of the first quarter, which we're still in at the moment as the ball comes to ground now. Towns desperate to even things up a little bit more as we see a shot on goal, and it was a very opportune shot, and that shot was by Simon Japont, and he... Arthur Garland, I apologise, Arthur Garland, and he has scored his second goal of the afternoon. So Arthur Garland roving off the pack and scoring him a goal for Towns, and that certainly has evened things up on the scoreboard as we go to the quarter-time break, and we certainly have a game on our hands here for the Dreadnought O'Malley game day.
Yes, Arthur Garland gets his second goal in as many minutes, so for Towns, Jalen Parsons has 2, Arthur Garland has 2, and single goal scorers for Northampton as we head towards quarter-time, with thanks to Community Bank Geraldton. Jamie Williams has 1, Callum Teagle 1, Jordan Drage 1, Jack McQuee 1. So 24 minutes gone in this term. Umpire Bennett to put the ball back into the ground or up into the air at the centre contest. And this has been very good. Callum Teagle's done very well, but this time Morphew gets the best of it. Morphew goes back in, gets a handball forward, whistle on play, and he's caught for throwing the ball. So the free kick will go the way of Northampton. So Northampton
could be a 50-metre penalty.
Have an opportunity to go forward. Yes.
The Towns playing on and not listening to the whistle.
No. So the ball is with Callum Teagle in the centre of the ground. Kicks it up towards half forward. Ball goes through her hands. Picked up by Northampton. Goes back to Caddy. Caddy quickly shoots it up the ground. Looking for the youngster there with the ball. Northampton comes back towards player in Jed Robinson. Robinson's kick, not a long one. Goes back towards Darcy Mulgrew. Goes back towards Towns. And Towns can clear, or can they? Good bit of smothering there from Northampton and good bit of pressure from the Northampton youngsters. They see the ball across the boundary line and there'll be a boundary throw in the left forward pocket at the northern end of Percher International Oval, and only moments to play in this first term.
The sign for the first term, or the horn, will go any moment now as the ball comes in. A deep attack now for the Rams. Can they up the ante somewhat as the ball comes in now, going the way of a player there. That player is Kieran Harris, but he knocks it over his head, goes to space now, picked up now by Cam Holmes. Holmes puts it onto his boot, a nice big kick into the full forward area. A player is held going up for the ball. The umpire saw nothing in that as he's dragged to ground. The defender for Northampton does the better. Well, he had to because the player was dragged out of the road, and he kicks it to the outer side and finds the sanctuary of the boundary. So that was interesting, unseen error there, I reckon, by the umpires, but maybe I don't know what I'm talking about. The ball comes inboard now, goes away of Drage. Drage centre half back with the ball. He'll kick it down the ground, straight down the corridor. Up they go. Caddy's one of those. He couldn't take the mark. He brings it to ground. Tries to keep it in his keeping. The ball goes further forward once again for Northampton, running in to try and make some difference as Gus Hebley. He's unable to do so. The Towns defence vice-like at the moment as they try and get it out of defence. Going the way now of that player there, and we're talking about Joshua DeLacy. He's straight down the middle of the ground. Nice little toe poke into space. Towns are away now. Can they DeLacy? He gives it away, accepts it back, and has dealt with, brought to the ground, and a clever tackle there by Jed Robinson sees him awarded a free kick.
Okay, players play on, and the umpire has to come in and throw the ball up again. And there's the siren. It's quarter time at the football, our Dreadnought O'Malley Motors game day, and a very entertaining game, very entertaining first quarter. Northampton have started well, Towns have finished well, and at quarter time, Northampton 4-4-28. They lead Towns 4 goals straight, 24. 4 points the margin in favour of the Rams, and you're tuned to Radio Mama, your home of GNFL football.
Our Dreadnought O'Malley Motors GNFL Game Day is brought to you by Community Bank Geraldton, who have been serving the community for over 13 years. On your home of GNFL football, Radio Mama.
connection. Yeah, I'll hold on and never, never, never let her down. 'Cause she's alone and she's crying like a refugee, looking like a quiet girl. She's crying like a refugee, looking like a quiet girl. She's crying like a refugee. Yes, she is.
Today's Drenton O'Malley Motors Game Day is brought to you by our sponsor Melissa Price, your local member for the seat of Durack. Stay tuned to the home of GNFL football, Radio Mama.
And a very good afternoon. Welcome back to Radio Mama, quarter time at the football, your home of GNFL footy, Drenton O'Malley Motors Game Day. Glenn Barnett and Pete Forenza keeping you across all the action. A big round of round 13 of the GNFL Premiership season for the Freemasons Hotel. All games in the country today as we quickly go around the grounds with thanks to the City of Greater Geraldton and Kirralie War, the member for Geraldton. Out at Nabwa, the big game is on, and Chapman Valley 4 goals 3-27. Lead Railways 3 behinds, that's at quarter time. Up at Mullawa 5-2-32. Lead Brigades 4-2-26. And here in our Percher International game of the day from Percher International Oval, we have Northampton 4-4-28. They lead Towns 4 goals straight, 24. Goal scorers, Jamie Williams 1, Callum Teagle 1, Jordan Drage 1, and Jack McQueen 1 for Northampton. Towns, Jalen Parsons 2, Arthur Garlott 2. The contenders for the Skeeters Restaurant Player of the Day. Peter, you're looking after Towns today. Who were the better players in that first quarter?
In no particular order, DeLacy, Morphew, Arthur Garlett, Jalen Parsons and Leon Jones Jr.
And for Northampton, Callum Teagle, Tyler Caddy, Gus Hebley, Peter Hampton and Kai McVie. As umpire gets the game underway. We're underway in this second term with thanks to Melissa Price, the member for Durack, and the ball's quickly out of the centre, goes out towards the Round Pavilion side. Northampton player has the ball held to him, didn't have prior opportunity, and umpire Miguel will come in and throw the ball up on centre wing on the outer side. So a big opportunity now. Can Northampton keep the pressure on? They lead by 4 points, but the ball spills back. Picked up now by Northampton youngster in Rex Hebley. Gets it up towards half forward. There's plenty of youngsters out on the park for Northampton today. Ball comes to Towns now, and Towns can clear up through their defence. They go up towards centre wing. But the ball's cut off beautifully by Jed Robinson. Robinson for the Rams. Big kick up towards full forward. Looking there for McQueen. Ball slapped away from him. The Northampton defence do well. Comes the way of the Northampton player there, and Aidan Mason. Gets a handball under pressure. Goes back the way of Arthur Garlett. Pack develops. Umpire says play on. Back to Mason. Mason trying to get the ball out. Northampton working hard. In goes Tyler Caddy. Good pressure on the ball carrier again. And umpire Miguel has no option but to come in and throw the ball up in the early stages of term number 2 for Melissa Price, the member for Durack.
Melissa Price, a guest on Forenza on Sunday tomorrow. She just returned from a very cold Canberra, so she's warming up as she hits Western Australian soil. The ball coming out of the middle now, goes away now of the player that certainly knows what to do with it, and that's Bo Walker for Towns. It comes through the field now into the full forward area. Jalen Parsons takes a nice mark, only eyes for the ball, and will have another shot on goal. He was one of the players who figured predominantly in the first term, mainly basically because he's making great avenues up forward for the Bulldogs and helped them claw their way back into contention after trailing by some 15, 16 points at one stage. So Jalen Parsons kicking toward the town end here at Northampton. Looks pretty good off the boot. It's straight through the middle. He doesn't miss too many. That's his third goal of the afternoon. And Towns go to 5 goals straight. And they now lead Northampton 4-4.
Yeah, so the first time the afternoon, Peter, that we've seen that the town side has taken the lead. And as you mentioned, a very efficient goal scorer is Jalen Parsons. He's in very good form, and he must be over his injury because he's moving pretty well. But he ran back with the flight of the ball, took the ball on his chest.
Do you know what type of injury he had, Glenn?
Oh, I think it was a high thigh sort of injury, yeah.
Okay, so, that indicated not at all.
No,
he's come over it, I mean.
He dressed it up. And it's always hard, of course, going to country where we play 4 games in a row. It's not easy going, and it's great to see that he's got through it okay. Ball comes the way. Towns get the best of it this time. They get the ball forward. Good bit of play there from the Towns player in Kane Johnson. Gets it up towards half forward. Ball running free. Goes the way of Northampton. Northampton player slaps the boot to ball. That's Rex Hebley. Gets it up along the boundary line. There'll be a boundary throw in on the outer side of Percher International Oval. 3 minutes gone, and the boundary umpire to put the ball back into play. And the ruckmen go at it. It's been a really good contest so far between Teakle and Morphew. Teakle probably holds the benefits at this stage. Goes the way of Hebley again. Hands off boots, and the ball very close to the boundary line. The Towns keep it in play, or do they? As we see the player go forward. A good mark taken there by Callum Teakle. He's taking marks around the ground and winning a lot of the ruck contest. There goes Callum Teakle with his big kick up towards half forward. Looking there for Gus Hebley. Almost a good mark to Gus. Couldn't handle it in the end. Ball comes to ground, and umpire Bennett will come in and throw the ball up on half forward. So both sides going at it pretty hard this afternoon, showing good consistency. Comes the way of Northampton. Goes the way of Walker. He feeds it out. Towns run onto the ball now. In goes Drew Forrester, boot to ball, goes towards the boundary line, but the boundary line comes into place. There'll be a boundary throw in on centre wing. No, free kick, out of bounds on the full. So Northampton to bring the ball back in. So Northampton had the ball on the outer side. The player there was Angus Reynolds. Got the ball up to another youngster.
The ball on almost centre wing now is brought inboard somewhat, just outside the centre square, but it's marked by a player in Rowan Farris. So Rocker Gibraltar in defence, gives it to a teammate who sends it back to where it came from, and we're talking about Atten Mason on the outer side. They seem to like the pavilion side to move the ball forward, and the ball certainly does that as it goes into space, and a player is penalised, and a free kick will go the way of Towns. So Towns, they've hit the lead here at Perch International Oval, trying to sustain that upper hand as they send it into the full forward area. Inside the forward 50 it goes. No one can take the mark. The ball spills free. Going back the way now of that player. He sends it inboard into space. Looking for Parsons again. He unselfishly gives away to a player in Marquis. He spins around on a 50-cent piece. Shoots toward the big sticks, but on this occasion is inaccurate and through for the minor scores. Unusual to see a full forward dish it off, Glenn.
It is, and he wish he didn't now. And looking at the scoreboard for technical maintenance services, Towns get their first minor score of the afternoon. Towns are 5-1-31. They lead Northampton 4-4-28. So a very tight game here. Only 3 points in it as Northampton bring the ball out of defence. Have the ball up towards centre wing. Nobody home for the Rams. Good mark taken there by Young Taj. Satie on centre wing. Kicks it in towards half forward, but well cut off by Kai McVee. Kai McVee, very, very talented sports person. Kai McVee puts it on his left boot now. Kicks it up towards half forward. Looking up there for the run of Gus Hebley. But Towns' defence are working hard. Towns' player was caught in possession, so the free kick goes the way of Northampton, and Hebley kicks the ball long and hard up towards full forward. Looking up there for the youngster in Peter Hampton, picked up by Northampton. Towns, however, through the player there with the ball now after receiving a kick from Rowan Farris is the Towns youngster Kane Johnson. A lot of young players out here this afternoon lifting the rate for their side. Northampton player appeared to be tackled high. Umpire missed that, and the free kick will go not to either of them. The umpire will come in and throw the ball up. And we've played 6.5 minutes in this first half game, second term. Melissa Price, the member for Durack, bringing us this quarter.
Ball coming out of a pack there, going the way of play was dealt with after he got rid of the ball, so he'll get a free kick. We're talking about Callum Marquis, so ball advantage is paid further down ground as Parsons runs onto and into an open goal. Checkside kick straight down the throat though, luckily for Northampton of the defender. A little bit too nonchalant, but that kick was too, and he kicks it straight to DeLacy, I think it was. So he gets up off the ground and sends it inboard. A player all on his lonesome. Too easy as it goes away of Jay O'Brien. Now Jay O'Brien, Glenn, as we know, is a pretty good goal sneak. Usually Ronaldo-esque. He soccers them through, but it's not standard. We'll see how he goes, but playing at the Valley a couple of years. He's
usually good for 2 or 3 goals a game.
He is, certainly, Glenn, and a clincher on many occasions. So Jay O'Brien. He thinks it's out of his distance, but he's going to try and get it into the goal square at least. Let's see what he can do here. The kick is going to make the distance. Players go up at the back of the pack. Up goes that player in
Callum Teagle again.
Callum Teagle to try and take the mark, and he does so. They're saying the Hoffhammer tried to mark in front of him as a player was bowled over as he came in late, the Northampton player. So a free kick will go the way of Morphew now. So Lockie Morphew, Glenn, last week played his 50th game for Towns, and time moves on, doesn't it? I can remember when he made his debut.
Yes, so it's good to see Lockie Morphew developing well as one of the good young ruckmen in the competition. Gets it up. Oh! Beautiful mark taken by the Towns player. And he's pretty happy about that, and so he should be.
We haven't seen one of those for a while, Glenn.
No, a wonderful mark taken by Arthur Garlett. Oh. And Arthur Garlett, he is 30 metres out. He's pumped, and so he should be.
We had front row seats for that, Glenn.
Lovely mark from Arthur Garlett. One of the marks of the season, no doubt about that. And Arthur Garlett, a very talented young player, as you can see from that mark. And Arthur Garlett, he's going to shoot towards goal. Whistle on play. What was the umpire blowing the whistle for? So the umpire is going back, and
Garlett still has to have his shot, Glenn.
yeah, there's a bit of pushing and shoving. Oh, there's been a few umpires. They're going to give him a card, I think. So there's
A player's been sent from the ground.
yeah, so Northampton have got a 2, or both 2. So we've got 2 from Towns.
Bit of a posse.
Yes, 26. Connor Lewis is off. So too is Jared Woodcock,
And Jalen Parsons.
Jalen Parsons. So yeah, they're all coming off, but it's a waste of time when you replace them straight away. So yeah, wastes everyone's time, doesn't it really?
See, that's interesting.
So both sides come back on, and the free kick goes the way of Arthur Garlett, or the mark goes to Arthur Garlett. There's a bit of pushing and shoving in the goal square. There goes the kick from Arthur Garlett. Ball fades away to the right-hand side, so his kick didn't rate with his mark, and the minus score results. And on the Technical Maintenance Services scoreboard, Towns are 5-2-32.
He had to wait that long, then it could have been cake.
That's right. As we quickly go around the grounds with thanks to the City of Greater Geraldton. Yeah, no one's a winner in that, are they? And at quarter time out at Mazzucchelli Oval, Chapman Valley 4-3-27. Railways are 3 behind. And up at Mullawa Oval, Mullawa 5-2-32. Lead Brigades 4-2-26.
Coming out of defence, Caddy, who's figured predominantly to this moment, also in the season of the Rams, no doubt. He kicks to the pavilion side, looking for options out there, finds it in Callum Teagle at centre wing. Teagle, the conveyance, looking for options downfield. 4 players were asked to leave the ground just prior to this passage of play, and it's quite extraordinary, in fact, as the ball goes off the half-back line. They're going the way of Callum Marquis. Marquis almost caught in possession, gives it away to a teammate just in time. He spills beans early, goes to ground, players diving on top of it, whistle sounds, there'll be a ball up. Oh no, free kick will go the way of Gus Hebley. Racking up a few kicks, young Hebley, this afternoon. Ditto to his brother as well. Of course, his dad is the coach of the Rams, former good player for the Rover Football Club in his day. The ball goes laterally now. Williams equal to the task. How do you go at Country Week, Glenn?
He did okay. Yeah, Jamie does a lot of good things, but he undoes himself. He runs into a lot of trouble too, but he certainly gets a lot of the ball as the ball goes forward. But he's a veteran down there at Country Week, and he really works hard, and it's good to see him playing good footy again.
Always made himself available, isn't he?
He's a ripper. He's a ripper, and he's done really well at the next level. Of course, a premiership player, as we see, Harris slaps the ball on his boot, but it only goes as far as the full back for Towns in Rowan Farris.
He's found his mojo now, Farris, after a few misdemeanours early.
Yeah, Mason gets it up the ground, gets it up towards half back, goes the way of Forrester. He gets it up the ground to his coach in Bo Walker, who's been quiet by his high standards this afternoon. Gets it up to Lockie Morphew, goes back to McGregor. McGregor gets it up towards half forward, finds it to a teammate there, feeds the handball out, does Cale Corlett, and Towns running forward. In goes Jay O'Brien, sees the ball across the boundary line. There'll be a boundary throw in the deep left forward pocket at the District High School end of Percher International Oval. And the boundary umpire to put the ball back into play. We've played 12 and a half minutes in this second term, with thanks to Melissa Price, the member for Durack.
The ship has been steadied somewhat, but The ascendancy is with Towns, 32-28. The ball comes in now off the pack. Player doing well in Arthur Garlett. Loved his game to this point, but goes away of Caddy. Ditto for him as well. All coming out of space. Mason Atten is there, but running onto it is Callum Marquis. He sees the lead, and up they go. The player up into the back of that passenger player is Bo Walker. He moved a little bit too early. The ball did not meet the target. It goes to ground. Players dive on top of it, and it'll be a ball up just outside the goal square for Towns. Up they go now. Off the boot it comes. A little bit too early. And I think it's missed all and sundry.
It has.
So out on the full. So the ball will be about to be brought back in by the defence for Northampton.
Yes, young Max Bramwell to bring the ball back in for the Rams. And just looking through the list, I'd have to say there's almost a dozen Colts players playing for the Northampton side today. A lot of young men. And it's good to see them getting their opportunities to rebuild. The Northampton side have lost 6 or 7 very good players over the last couple of years, and not very good players, sort of exceptional type players. As the ball goes up towards half back, the ball now with Angus Reynolds. Angus Reynolds, a very good Northampton name, kicks it up towards Teagle, another very good Northampton name. It was picked up by a Towns, very good name, in Marquis. He gets it out, goes the way of Walker, back to Marquis. He runs into trouble now, goes the way of Sati. Picked up by Northampton player in Darcy Mulgrew. He's tackled. Ball comes back towards Towns. Picked up by Arthur Garlett. Now it goes the way of Williams. Williams by hand goes the way of Hampton. And Northampton out on the half back line. They get it up towards the player there in Rex Hebley. Hebley does well. Knocks it out in front of him. Has the ball on half forward. Runs back through traffic. Gets it up looking for Peter Hampton. Boundary line comes into play. And there'll be a boundary throw in on the Ram Pavilion side of Northampton Oval, just below the windsock, which suggests the breeze is probably worth 1 goal, favouring the southern end.
So they were yellow cards, were they, for those players?
Yellow cards.
So they're off for 10 minutes.
Yeah,
is that right?
That's right. They're off for 10 minutes, but it doesn't really penalise the side. It gives them a break because you get fresh blokes on. In years gone by, there used to be a bylaw when you got sent off for a yellow card, it meant something because you didn't get replaced.
The only thing is, some of the calibre of the players that have gone off, including Parsons, has taken away the focal point up front for at the moment.
Yeah.
But as the ball goes away for Northampton, who'll shoot on goal, and they've been unlucky on that occasion and only going through for the minor score. So the scoreboard ticks over once again. 4-5-29 Northampton, still trailing Towns 5-2-32.
But you're replacing a player with another player.
Yeah, I know exactly what you're saying, Glenn.
It's not really no penalty.
No penalty, and that's the only difference that I can see
I guess
for this passage.
Cools down the players and gives them time to think about not being silly and not getting drawn into it, you know.
The ball coming into space now is picked up by the coach and Bo Walker. It's time to think about it as he puts it inboard now, and Forrester takes off like
no need
on a
for
bit
that.
of speed and is dealt with after. So there'll be a free kick going down the ground now, and almost will probably finish in a goal here, as we see a player who had a shot on goal a little bit earlier, a little bit too far out, but this time
like it was in the centre of the ground, and now he's only 35 metres out.
Scoring distance is Jay O'Brien. Jay O'Brien recently becoming a dad.
Yes, a little baby, and the mum are here today, enjoying it.
Certainly. So Jay O'Brien, he'll kick from about 25 to 30 metres when he gets onto this one, kicking toward the Northampton town end. He's almost directly in front, and he does make a mistake. He goes straight through the middle. And Towns consolidate their lead here at Perth International Oval. They go to 38 points, and they lead Northampton 29.
Yeah, so 2 goals in this term to Towns, and Northampton haven't scored a goal in this term. They've scored 1 behind, so a good goal there to Jay O'Brien. As we said, when he gets his game going, he's good for 2 or 3 goals.
And when you think about it, that passage of play set up by the Marvel himself and Bo Walker on the half-back line.
It was, and giving away a 50-metre penalty doesn't help. Giving away a late tackle from the Northampton defender gave away a 50-metre penalty up the road and almost a goal.
Melissa Price, a member for Durack, sponsoring us once again this season, Glenn. She was reinstated. She is one of the ministers in shadow minister. She is. She's sworn in for the seat of Durack last week, and will be one of my guests tomorrow for Enza on Sunday. So don't forget to join us from 10 o'clock here on Radio Mama and also Radio Geraldton.
Yes, we've got a little bit of a feeling what weather in what Canberra feels like after
she come here to thaw out.
That's right, and can imagine. Ball back at the centre, so the ball was held up, and umpire Miguel will come and throw the ball up, and once again, this time it's won by Teakle. Ball goes back to Towns, however. Towns get the ball forward, player was pushed fair in the back, and the umpire says, well, that was pretty obvious. And the ball with Cam Holmes now. Cam Holmes with the ball on the centre of the ground. He goes across the ground, finds Kieran Harris, who played at Country Week for Geraldton this year in the GNFL. There goes Kieran Harris's kick up towards half forward, looking up there for Jordan Drage. The umpire said he didn't hold it long enough. I thought it may have been close enough. Jordan's in a bit of trouble now. Looks like he's injured very badly. He's getting up very gingerly. Ball goes the way of Williams. Williams kicks it up forward, but only as far as the Towns player, and the Towns defence stand their ground. Ball comes back towards Farris. Farris on half back, clubroom side, and
looks like he may have done an ankle. He's
a lot of bother. He knew straight away.
His Drage.
Mason to Marquis, goes back looking there for Mason. Goes back to Marquis. Marquis gives it to Collette. Collette takes them on, comes back towards Marquis. Towns overusing the ball. Northampton can recover, or can they? No, under pressure. Ball spills out, goes the way of Towns. Towns get it up forward, and the player there taking it is Aiton Mason, who was very good in that passage of play. The kick came forward from James Killo, and now the ball is with Mason. So Peyton Mason with the ball, and he is kicking toward Aiton Mason, I should say. Aiton Mason is with the ball, and he is 40 metres out. Directly in front, kicking to the northern end. So Northampton can see their margin slip by a bit more, or the growth of Towns. Up goes Walker, couldn't mark it, off hands, and Luck's a fortune. Northampton slap it through, and on the TMS scoreboard, the Technical Maintenance Services scoreboard, or the Malcolm Gould scoreboard here at Northampton, it is Towns 6-3-39. They lead Northampton 4-5-29. You're tuned to Radio Mama, the home of GNFL football. Glenn Barnon and Peter Fiorenza.
Yes, the half-time siren will go very, very soon as the ball comes out of defence now. And comes the mark is paid to Tyler Caddy. Caddy's worked tirelessly in the first half for the Rams. He's looking for options downfield now. There's a school teacher on the mark and a school teacher with the footy, Glenn.
Yes.
So who knows what will happen here.
Jordan Drage coming off. He has got a bad ankle by the look of it. And I won't say he won't come back on, because I've done that many times in my career. I've written people off and said they will not come back on. And next quarter they're out there looking like they've just as fresh as a daisy. But he doesn't look that fresh as a daisy at the moment. He looks like he's got a lot of pain.
The boundary line. Caddy goes laterally now, finds a teammate equal to the task. Down the ground they come down in front of our broadcast position. No mark is taken. I've got a couple of players. One of those was Morphew, the taller of two players. The other being Jackson Eastoff. The ball goes to ground. Northampton to Williams. Try and get some fluency forward, but the ball goes away of Hebley. He too loses possession. He gains it back now, but into a pack of players. It's Towns who do the better as they come into space. There's Rowan Farris, who's come right down the ground. He sends it further afield and finds Marquis.
Callum Marquis goes by hand, finds his teammate running by, and Jackson Luff. Luff gets it up the ground. Ball comes back towards Jay O'Brien. Ball over the player over the ball. Umpire says, get it out. He's caught in possession. Yeah, you got to knock it out. And the free kick will go the way of Northampton. Kieran Harris gets it over to his teammate. So Northampton go forward through the player there in Mac Hoffhammer, but he's turned it over, goes the way of Drew Forrester. He feeds a handball out, finds Walker.
Nice goal.
Walker shoots on goal, and Bo Walker has got a beauty goal. Towns player looks like he's in a bit of bother behind play, but a god goal there to Towns. So Towns have added 3 goals, 3 in this term. Northampton have added 1 behind, and on the TMS scoreboard, it is Towns 7-3, 45.
I think.
They lead Northampton 4-5-29 as we see the Towns player holding his head being taken from the ground, or the trainers want to get him off the ground. He's not that keen to go, but he's heading off now, and it's young player, Carl Collette.
Oh, Carl Collette.
Cale Collette is that player. So Cale is coming across the ground.
As we said, time ticking away, and that goal means that time will take a little bit longer to advance to the half-time break. And at half-time, things are going to look a little bit different to what they did at quarter time. 4 points was the difference in favour of the Rams, but that's been curtailed somewhat by the Bulldogs in this particular term. And it's 45 plays 29. Morphew wins it on that occasion, but slaps it down the throat of Caddy, the opponent. Puts it onto his boot, sends it into the half-forward area. Northampton, a goal here would be much needed and give them a little bit of hope. I'm not saying that they have lost any hope, but give them a bit more confidence going into the half-time break. The ball's bottled up somewhat by the defence for Towns. Ron Farris is one of those players and ensures that it goes over the boundary. So the ball about to be thrown in now in front of the windsock, which is a little bit limp since we began the game. So the breeze that was favouring the southern end is probably only about a goal now, gusting at 2, but doesn't seem to be affecting the scoring in this particular game too much as the ball comes in now from the outer side. Up they go. Towns do the better, or do they? Player quickly set upon. He didn't get too far on that occasion. Calamarquis, he's like a junkyard dog, in he goes. Gets the ball out of into space now, and the siren sounds too. Let us know that it is half-time in Adrenaline O'Malley Game Day, and at half-time here at Percher International Oval, it is Towns 7-3-45, and they lead Northampton 4-5-29, and you're listening to the home of GNFL football. This is Radio Mama.
Today's Drenton O'Malley Motors Game Day is brought to you by our sponsor Melissa Price, your local member for the seat of Durack. Stay tuned to the home of GNFL football, Radio Mama.
Today's Dren O'Malley Motors Game Day is brought to you by our great sponsors, the team at Dren O'Malley Motors. Make sure you make them your first choice for your second-hand cars. Stay tuned to the home of GNFL football, Radio Mama.
Good afternoon, welcome back. Halftime at the football, Radio Mama, your home of GNFL footy for Dren O'Malley Motors Game Day with Glenn Barnett and Peter Forenza for round 13 of the GNFL Premiership season. Of course, the Premiership season with thanks to the Freemasons Hotel and with all games in the country today. And our match of the day from Percher International Oval is a beauty. A very tight contest indeed. And at halftime, Towns 45 lead Northampton 29. As we go around the grounds and have our halftime summary with thanks to the City of Greater Geraldton and Kirrily Ward, a member for Geraldton. Out at Mazzucchelli Oval at halftime, Chapman Valley 8 goals 5, 53, lead Railways 1 goal 5, 11. And up at Mullawar Oval, it is Brigades had a very good quarter. They added 5 goals in that quarter, and Brigades lead at halftime 9 goals 7, 61 to Mullawar 5 goals 2, 32. Umpires are back at the centre, about to get this third quarter underway with thanks to Dren O'Malley Motors. Peter, you're looking after contenders for the Skidders Restaurant Player of the Day, and Towns had a lot of good players in that quarter.
They did, Glenn, but we've had word come through and had confirmation that Jalen Parsons, along with 3 other players, was sent from the ground from an altercation that happened in the goal square in the early stages of that last quarter. We believe that it was a yellow card, but has been upgraded to a red card.
For Jalen Parsons?
To Jalen Parsons. So it'll be interesting to see what that's all about. Arthur Garlett, Morphew, Bo Walker and Callum Marquis were amongst the better players for Towns in that team.
Northampton win the ball forward as one forward by Jamie Williams. Gets it up towards the player there and Hebley. Hebley goes by hand, but in goes Rowan Farris. Steadies the ship, gets to the way of Drew Forrester, and Drew and Forrester can send the ball forward from half back. He goes up towards centre wing where he finds the man Lachlan Morphew, the big ruckman for the Bulldogs, in front of our Radio Mama broadcast box. And once again, Pete, myself and Matthew have the best seats in the house here at Northampton. Ball goes the way of Marquis. He goes out wide to the hard-running player in Johnston. Johnston puts it on his left boot, kicks towards full forward, looking up there for the young player in Jay O'Brien. O'Brien sees the ball across the boundary line, and there'll be a boundary throw-in.
O'Brien's starting to become a little bit dangerous in the latter stages of that term, Glenn.
He certainly did. Ball to be thrown back in, and it is a 16-point margin in favour of the Town side, who, if they win today and Chapman Valley lose, they will go into second spot. Ball comes back into play for the boundary throw-in, picked up by Towns. Pack around the ball. Once again, the umpire will come and throw the ball up. Umpires this afternoon doing a wonderful job, as they do for the GNFL. Theo Bennett, Randall Starling and Cody Miguel, and umpire Miguel will throw the ball up.
Dren O'Malley Motors bringing you this, the Premiership quarter. Hello to John, Ron, Rachel and the team. They're all coming in side now, not far from the goals for Towns. Up into the air goes. Bit of a rainmaker. Need that tomorrow. Off the boot it comes, and going through for the minus score. The Gerald Hotel, of course, Bob's Bar is the place to meet of an evening, later in the evening, for a nice drink or two, and the old man in the sea. Could be a bit chilly up there tonight though, Glenn.
Yes, but they have those lovely gas heaters, and they keep you nice and warm, but you certainly would have to be under one and enjoying that. Ball now with Northampton in defence. I noticed the umpire speaking with the runner from Northampton, getting some information, and some Northampton players coming back on the ground now. Jack McQuee, and also the other Northampton player to come back on the ground is the player Jared Woodcock. So they have come back on. They must have served their time. Ball comes back in. The Towns have it through Leon Jones Jr. And Leon Jones Jr. very impressed with this young player. He was an outstanding player in the last time I saw Towns play, and he is a very, very promising young player. He's a very, very tall man, and he's only a youngster, but he's certainly got a lot of skill, as his family have. So Leon Jones Jr.
Seen him in the ruck at times too, Glenn.
Yeah, he plays up front, he plays in defence, and he doesn't mind playing where he has to go, wherever the coach sends him. There goes the kick from Leon Jones. Beautiful kick. There I said that he's a talented young man. And in the first 3 minutes of this third term, with thanks to Dren O'Malley Motors in the Premiership quarter, a good goal to Leon Jones, and the scoreboard rolls over. It's a technical maintenance services, and it is Towns 8-4-52, Northampton 4-5-29, and has the zest and the power of Northampton started to dwindle.
Leon Jones, his dad was a premiership player, multi-premiership player with the Towns Footy Club, and of course he played a lot of footy too, played into his early 40s, I believe, Glenn.
Yes, well I think he still played a few games, he's still playing reserves now.
Well, there you go, it's incredible, isn't he?
Yeah.
So the ball coming back to the middle now, and the last goal scored by that particular player, and sees the scoreboard roll over 8-4-52. And Towns have a reasonable lead now on the scoreboard. They lead Northampton 4-5-29. Back in the middle now, the ball comes out going the way of that player's quickly set upon for Northampton. A bit of a high tackle. Umpire says no prior opportunity. He'll come in to throw it up once again. Players setting themselves up. Goes Morphew, but Teakle wins on this occasion, going to ground. Into space now, Woodcock tries to run onto it, but the ball bounces better for his opposite number for Towns. Bit of a toe poke in the middle of the ground, doesn't receive the desired result, and the umpire says let's throw it up once again. So umpire Bennett returning to umpiring duties, good to see. Callum Teakle wins it again on this occasion, probably winning the ruck battle he has with Morphew this afternoon. Callum Marquis though, beautiful kick straight down the middle. His speed and accuracy into the half-forward line, looking for some support down there. Player is quickly set upon, bit of pressure takes him over the white line, and the ball will be thrown in deep attack now for Northampton. And for the listeners, Glenn, as we know, the Northampton football ground goes downhill.
It does, so it's always very, very good, but Northampton generally know how to play it. They seem to like to play it on the Ram Pavilion side. That's where the ball is at the moment. It's in the back pocket though, near the golf club, picked up by Towns. Arthur Garlett shoots on goal, but in goes the Northampton player. It takes a good strong mark at Jared Woodcock. Woodcock plays on quickly and gets it out to his teammate there, and Kieran Harris. Now a 50-metre penalty, so Kieran Harris will be able to bring the ball from the back pocket.
Kieran Harris getting a lot of possessions.
Yeah, so up towards the centre ground, and looking at the Northampton better players, he is one of them, along with Peter Hampton, Gus Hebley, Tyler Caddy and Callum Teakle.
So Harris in the middle of the ground now has options. He sends it to the outer side, only as far as the Towns player there in Drew McGregor, who takes a nice mark. So McGregor, the former Brigades player, been wearing the red and white for a couple of seasons now. But a premiership player with the Hawks, he sends it down the corridor now, and a nice mark is taken by Jack McQueen. So Jack McQueen now, Woodcock who came down the ground, took the mark, intercepted, and sent it further afield. McQueen equal to the task just inside the forward 50 now. Jack, a defender of note, has moved into the forward line in season 2025 and has looked after his coach in respect to taking some leading marks and scoring some goals. Let's see what he can do here. He'll kick from about 35, probably 40 metres out once he gets onto this one. It's a nice kick, it'll make the distance. Good goal. Straight through the middle. Jack McQueen has scored a very good goal for Northampton. A timely goal in the context of this particular match, and narrowing the margin where we thought the Towns were just getting a little bit away.
Yeah, good finish there by Jack McQueen. He thought about trying to pass it off, but he finished it off beautifully from 50 metres.
He put that in a textbook the way he kicked it, Glenn, wasn't it? He put his legs right through, kicked all the way through the ball, and certainly got the end of the footy onto his boot as well.
Yeah, Jack McQueen built himself as a backman. He was a very good fullback, probably one of the leading fullbacks in the GNFL, but this year his coach and himself have decided to move up forward.
And one of few players to wear long sleeves in the GNFL, Glenn.
Yes, and I'd be wearing a long sleeve today, and certainly you'd be
in a whole jumpsuit.
I'd probably wear it every day. The ball to be thrown, I'll wear a jumpsuit, yeah, you're right, red right. This time Morphew wins it, the ground goes the way of Walker. In goes his teammate there, trying to slap the ball forward in the kilo, and the ball comes up now, goes the way of Luff. Luff gets it by hand to Forrester, but Forrester off the side of the boot on the boundary line, keys the ball out of bounds on the full, so that'll relieve the pressure. Northampton will be able to bring the ball back into play, about 40 metres around from the right point post. So Northampton are going to the northern end of the ground, Towns are going to the golf club end, the southern end, with a light breeze at their back. Ball comes up along the boundary line, goes back towards Towns now. In goes Kilo. He can't control it. Caddy can for Northampton. Little short pass, looks for Jamie Williams. Williams cleverly takes them on, gives it back towards Caddy. Caddy takes them on and gets a kick forward, and he's picked out a good player there in Cohen Fletcher. Cohen Fletcher with the ball on centre wing. Kicks it up towards half forward. Awkward kick. Put Gus heavily under pressure. Ball spills. Comes back towards Farris. Farris cleverly gets it away to Killo. In goes the Northampton players on him. Umpire will say that ball was held to him. And umpire Starling will come and throw the ball up on centre wing. And 52 plays 35 in favour of the Bulldogs. We've played 8.5 minutes with thanks to Drennan O'Malley Motors.
Radio Mumba, the home of GFL football. Peter Forenza and Glenn Barnett. All the action from Perth International Oval here in Northampton this afternoon. Beautiful day for footy as we see a free kick going the way of Callum Marquis. Probably become the biggest ball getter on the park at the moment as he kicks to the outer side. Picked up now on this occasion by Drew McGregor. He sends it into the half-forward area. Doesn't get the intended distance that he needs. It's ricocheted back, but McGregor's going to have another bite of the cherry. Loses possession, though. Ball goes the way of Jed Robinson. He tries to do something with it, but alas, he's unable to. Williams has the ball now as it comes out of defence. So Williams on the far side to the windsock, which has gone very limp here this afternoon. Bit of breeze early, but has died off and not favouring either end, one would think. Slightly probably the southern end, going downhill, and that's the end to which Towns are kicking in this particular term. Okay, the ball about to be thrown in at centre wing. Reasonable crowd here this afternoon as well, which is good to see. People loving
it's competing with the Derby.
Exactly, people loving their country footy. The ball coming into space now. Who'll run onto it first? It looks like it's a Towns player. It's quickly set up on. Couldn't get away too early. Vice-like tackle. The ball comes free. Goes away of Luff. Luff for the Bulldogs, sends it further field, and there he is again. Callum Marquis has been pretty good in the middle stages of this game. He sends it in, but looking for Arthur Garlett. Garlett took a sensational mark in the early stages of the second term, one that we hope there could be a photo of, Glenn, but alas, I don't think there will be.
Well, we've got it on TV, of course. Screening footy will have it, and a good shot, I would imagine, from that one. There goes the ball, comes back into play. And up goes Towns. Towns have it. They feed it back out. In goes the player who has the ball held to him. And the umpire has no option.
Interesting, a lot of conversation on Sports Jet Saturday this morning with yourself and also the panel, the rest of the panel, about lamenting over the style of football being played at the moment in all levels of the game. As we see Towns go toward goal and have a shot, but alas, going off the side of the boot and through for the minus score. And that mark is something that we believe is starting to fall out of the game, and it's something that we love to see, Glenn.
Yes, it certainly is, and it's what you go to the footy for. But that's what I like.
Mick Thompson started the conversation.
Yeah, but one of the things I like is the fact that this game is played at a pretty good pace.
This has been a good game.
They've really had a go, and they're playing with a bit of efficiency.
Stoppages have been few and far between.
But I guess they are both playing pretty offensive footy, which is good to see, and it's good to watch. Hebley has the ball on the outer side. Gus Hebley is that player. Hebley kicks it up towards half forward, looking again for Teakle. Ball comes to the ground, goes to his opponent in Lachlan Morphew. Morphew gets a handball forward towards the boundary line. Boundary line comes the way of the young Northampton player in Hampton. Throws boot to ball, goes up towards half forward. Goes the way of Jed Robinson. He gets a handball away. Picked up now by Towns through O'Brien. He gives it to Killo. Killo gets the ball from half back, looking it up towards half forward. Looking up there for the player Connor Lewis. He couldn't mark the ball. Picked up by Northampton's Kai McVee. McVee, nice little pass, finds Rex Hebley. Hebley goes with a short pass to Kieran Harris. Back towards Hebley. But Hebley goes back and retrieves it. Has the ball held to him. Umpire said he had no prior opportunity, and we'll see a ball thrown up, and now we'll get the ball thrown away, and the free kick will go the way of Northampton. So a player was flung after he didn't have possession, so the ball goes down to Kieran Harris, and he's lifted his work rate in the second part of this game.
If he hadn't been having a high work rate to that point anyway.
No, he's been very good. Kieran Harris working hard, carrying on where he left off from Country Week. Slaps the boot to ball, goes up towards half forward. Ball running free. Northampton have 2-1. Northampton jump on the Towns player, and umpire Bennett has no option but to come in and throw the ball up. Time ticking by in this third term, the premiership quarter for Drennan O'Malley Motors, and it is Towns 8-5-53, Northampton 5-5-35 as we go around the grounds with thanks to the City of Greater Geraldton and Kirrily War, the member for Geraldton. A half-time of the football at Mazzucchelli Oval, Chapman Valley 8-5-53 lead Railways 1-5-11, and half-time at Mullawar, Brigades 9-7-61 lead Mullawar 5-2-32.
Into the forward line once again for Towns, I should say. And a free kick has gone the way of, in the half-forward area for Northampton, I should say. And Jack McQuaid is going to get another shot at goal now.
He's a lot closer. He's a lot closer,
and he's directly in front where he was before. So Jack McQuaid scored the last goal for Northampton. Yeah. And there hasn't been another goal from Town since then, so they are bringing down that margin somewhat, the Rams, as Jack McQuaid awarded a free kick for an indiscretion. He'll kick from about 25 metres. That's not too bad, but it's not too accurate. Unfortunately, he didn't use the textbook for that one, Glenn. He didn't kick through the ball, and it goes through for the minor score. So, scoreboard ticking over. 53 plays 36. You're listening to Radio Mama. We are the home of GNFL football.
And in this quarter, Peter, to this point, Towns have added 1 goal 2. And Northampton have added 1 goal 1. So it's a very tight, even third quarter. As Rowan Forrest, big kick out of full back.
Oh, nice mark.
Right to the centre of the ground.
Was that not played?
And the umpire said off hands.
Right.
Goes the way of the Northampton player who gets boot the ball. Gets it up. There's Muck Hoffhammer. Big pack around the ball. Northampton do well through Hebley. Hebley goes by hand. Ball spills. Goes the way of Hampton. Hampton went forward. So too did Towns Mason. He gets a handball, looking there for Taj Satie, and a pack develops as Hoffhammer for the Towns. There's a Towns Hoffhammer, and there's a Northampton Hoffhammer, and umpire will come in and throw the ball up. So players have tightened up quite considerably in this quarter, and there's a little bit more pressure on the ball carrier. 8-5-53 Towns, Northampton 5-6-36. Umpires picked out a free kick to go the way of Northampton. And Northampton will get the free kick.
Yeah, Leon Jones over the back.
And the big player,
shoulder of his opponent.
Jackson Rayner is that player.
Jackson Rayner, former Nagel boy. Gives it away now to Williams. Williams will shoot on goal. Looks pretty accurate. Looks pretty straight. Great Williams goal. Has scored a very important goal for the Rams.
Yeah, Jamie Williams did well. The young player did well too. Jackson Rayner didn't want to put himself under the pressure. We know that Jamie Williams is a very good shooter of the ball, and he finished it off beautifully, and that's why he is a senior player, and he kicked a beautiful goal from 50 metres on a 45-degree angle. So the scoreboard for technical maintenance services here in the middle stages of this third term on Drennan O'Malley Motors Game Day on Radio Mama, your home of GNFL footy. Towns are 8-5-53. Northampton have kicked the last 2. They are 6-6-42. So the margin narrows.
Yeah, 11-point ball game here at Perth International Oval in our Drennan O'Malley Game Day. Hope you're enjoying the coverage here on Radio Mama, relayed to Radio Geraldton. The umpire waiting for players to get into their positions. A free kick has been awarded because the player was not in the right spot. And a free kick will go the way of Towns. Through the agency on this occasion of Leon Jones Jr. into the half-forward area. Ruff does pretty well, gets it to a teammate who was fouled after he got rid of the ball, but there's a shot on goal, inaccurate, and through for the minor score. So Towns continue to put the pressure on despite Northampton scoring the last goal.
Yeah, Northampton, let the pressure off. They gave away a free kick. A player was not in the zones at the bounce. He was at the wrong position. There's got to be 6-6-6. And they were out of position, so the free kick went the way of Towns. So Northampton very fortunate that Towns were inaccurate on that occasion. Heading towards time on in this third term, and the boundary throw-in on the far side. Really entertaining game of footy here at Perth International Oval. Been a good game, and both sides going at it. That's all you ask. And a lot of young players for both sides having a dip.
And just reminding listeners that Jayden Parsons, along with 3 other players from either side were asked to leave the ground in the second term through some indiscretion in the goal square, but for some reason Parsons has had his yellow card upgraded to a red, so that means he won't return to the game today.
Towns players just slung a Northampton player, so the Northampton player will get a free kick. Kieran Harris is that player, but he's as tough as old boots, and Kieran Harris gets himself up off the ground on half back after being rewarded with a free kick after being a sling tackle, but that's not a very good kick. He may be still suffering from the indiscretion because he's kicked it out of bounds on the full. So the ball will be brought in now by Rowan Farris. He takes them on, puts it on his left boot, and Towns player gets the Northampton player out of the road, comes back towards Northampton, picked up by Woodcock, gets it up towards half back, but Towns in best position, and it's taken there by Bo Walker, playing against his former side. Bo Walker now the coach of Towns. He was a previous coach at Northampton as well. Gets the ball up towards half forward, where he finds his captain in Drew Forrester. So Drew Forrester, a good country week player too in recent times, and a good player for Towns. He's gone from a defender to now a ruck rover.
And a good walkaway farmer, Glenn.
A very good farmer from out the Casuarinas. So here goes the kick from Drew Forrester. Shooting on goal. Goal umpire signals 1 point only. And on the TMS scoreboard, which is Technical Maintenance Services, the Malcolm Gould scoreboard, the beautiful electric scoreboard here at Percher International Oval. And Towns are 8-7-55. The lead Northampton 6-6-42. And certainly a good contest here. Still anybody's game. But at the moment, it's a margin in favour of the Bulldogs by 13 points. And I would have think many of us would have come up here and thought it would be a bigger margin than that by this stage, but of course there's still a quarter to go.
Chapman Valley still have a handy lead out there at Nabawar, Glenn.
Still waiting on a three-quarter time score to come in from Mullawar and also Chapman Valley. Nabawar, the last score was 53-11 in favour of Chapman Valley, and up at Mullawar it was 61-32 in favour of the Hawks, as we see Northampton go forward again. Northampton have it on centre wing. Ball goes up towards half forward. Ball bounces awkwardly. It suits Towns, or does it? Northampton can regroup. Picked up now by Caddy. Boot to ball. Kicks it towards full forward. Looking there for Hebley. Gus Hebley has the ball held to him. Umpire said he had no prior opportunity, and the umpire will come in and throw the ball up here at Percher International Oval, as the score is comes way of Towns, and picked up now by the player there, runs it through, and a force behind. So Northampton 6 goals 7-43. Towns are 8-7-55.
Just noticed former great player for the Northampton club, Jamie Drage, going into the pavilion. His son suffered an injury in the last term, Glenn, and we believe an ankle injury, so probably come to take him in to get looked at hospital, I think.
Yes, that's no good at all.
Jordan Drage.
As we go around the grounds with thanks to the City of Greater Geraldton and Kirralie War, the member for Geraldton, looking at the scores at three-quarter time. And Northampton, Chapman Valley under pressure now as Railways have come back. We'll get to that score in a minute as Towns quickly get the ball forward. Towns player gets the ball kicked towards him. He takes a good mark under pressure. Good strong mark there taken by the player.
Set up by the great Bo Walker. He certainly knows what he's doing, doesn't he?
Yes, so it is Drew Forrester who stood his ground and took a very good mark. So Drew Forrester gets an opportunity to kick a goal for his side and stretch the margin as we head towards three-quarter time. So Drew Forrester is 25 metres out. There goes his kick. Looks pretty good off the boot. He gets his first of the afternoon, and another goal to the Bulldogs. And on the TMS scoreboard, it is Towns 9-7-61, Northampton 6-7-43. As we go around the grounds, and let me tell you the score from Nabawar out at Mazzucchelli Oval. It is Chapman Valley 9-6-60 to the Railway side 6-6-42.
It's been interesting looking at what's happening in the middle of the ground, Glenn. I think one of the biggest differences that stand out for me in this game and why Northampton are being able to stay in it is that Callum Teakle is really having a great contest with Lockie Moorfield.
Yeah, he's had a really great game.
He's on top.
He's had a really good game. Very good game indeed.
So back in the middle now, both these two combatants are going at it. Two youngsters, indeed, probably around the same age. So they're both big fellas too, as they will go in now, and we'll see who can win this knock. Both had their fair share, but as I said, Tinkle has been winning most occasions. That occasion goes the way of Morphew, but down the throat of Caddy for the opponents. He sends it forward into space off the half-back line. Well, inside the square is a player in Farris. He kicks to the outer side, chip kick into space, so no one can run onto it. In fact, it causes a bit of a group of players coming in to try and get purchase of the ball. The umpire says a free kick has been awarded as the player was dealt with, and 50-metre penalty, so I couldn't see it's too far away for me to identify on this occasion, so a free kick will go the way of Northampton. So Taylor Caddy, he's been good this afternoon too. Brings it right up outside the forward 50, and gee, all on his lonesome as this player takes the mark. And that player is, I think it is Woodcock, I think, that's taken the mark. So Woodcock will have a shot on goal. He'd done that, he was able to take the mark far too easily. Caddy found him on his lonesome. So a goal here to Woodcock, if he sneaks one in, it's going to make things quite interesting, but the kick isn't accurate enough. Going across the face of goal, maybe the angle was a little bit too more difficult than I could see from here, and it goes through for the minor score. So 61 plays 44. We still have an interesting game on our hands.
Yeah, very entertaining game of footy. Ball goes the way of Kai McVie. McVie couldn't take the mark, goes back down. Ball held to the Towns player there. That Towns player is Cale Corlett, and the umpire has no option to come in and throw the ball up. Dying stages of this third term with thanks to Drennan O'Malley Motors, and the ball is thrown up on centre wing, goes the way of Tyler Caddy, and he's certainly putting in a lot of work in this game for the Rams this afternoon as they try to get the score a little bit closer to them.
I think you've had him in your best throughout the game, haven't you?
I have, yes, very much so. So three-quarter time at Chapman Valley. So Chapman Valley at 10-6, lead Railway 6-7. So a big game.
Railways have come back a bit.
Yeah, they've come back. They've kicked some 5 goals in that term, and Chapman Valley kicked 2. But there's the siren, three-quarter time at the football here at Percher International Oval. A very entertaining game of good football. And Towns are 9-7, 61. Northampton are 6-8, 44. And you're tuned to Radio Mama, your home of GNFL football.
Today's Drennan O'Malley Motors Game Day is brought to you by our great sponsors, the team at Drennan O'Malley Motors. Make sure you make them your first choice for your second-hand cars. Stay tuned to the home of GNFL football, Radio Mama.
Pour me another drink, 'cause I don't wanna feel a thing no more, hell no. I just wanna sip it till the pain wears off. Pour me another round. Line 'em up and knock 'em down. 2 more, let's go, 'cause I ain't never heard like this before. Don't wanna think about her, or wear a ring without her. Don't wanna hit the karaoke bar, can't sing without her. So make them drinks strong, 'cause brother, she's gone. And if I'm ever gonna move on, I'ma need some whiskey glasses, 'cause I don't want
Game Day is brought to you by our great sponsor GT Russell Chartered Accountants and Business Advisors, helping your business work for you today and tomorrow. Stay tuned to the home of GNFL football, Radio Mama.
And a very good afternoon. Welcome back. It's Radio Mama, your home of GNFL footy, Drennan O'Malley Motors Game Day. 3/4 time at the football with Glenn Barton and Peter Forenza. Round 13 of the GNFL Premiership season for the Freemasons Hotel, with all games in the country today. And we've only got an update from one of the country games because the Brigades Mullawar game, no update as yet. But we can tell you at 3/4 time at Nabawar at Mazzucchelli Oval, Chapel Valley 9-6-60, Lead Railway 6-6-42, so an 18-point margin there at Nabawar. At Perth International Oval at 3/4 time, it is Towns 9-7-61, leading Northampton 6-8-44, 17 points to the margin. And Peter, you're looking after contenders for the Skeeters Restaurant Player of the Day. Who have you like for Towns in the first 3 quarters?
Here's on to the final term. Callum Marquis has been my best, followed by Bo Walker, Leon Jones and Rowan Farris.
Looking at Northampton, the best, Callum Teakle, Tyler Caddy, Gus Hebley and Kieran Harris. We're underway in this final term with thanks to GT Russell Chartered Accountants. Umpire Bennett gets the ball into the air. Ball goes the way of Northampton's Rex Hebley. He can't put a handle on it. Big pack around the ball, and the umpire will come and throw the ball up again. The umpires this afternoon doing a wonderful job. Umpires Theo Bennett, Randall Starling and Cody Miguel. Ball thrown up, comes back into the play. Player whistle on play. There's a free kick. Advantage rule paid, which is good to see. The ball goes out wide, goes the way of Towns player and Cale Collette, very close to the boundary line, and there'll be a boundary throw-in on the outer side. 61 plays 44 in favour of the Bulldogs. Bulldogs, if they win today and Chapman Valley lose, the Bulldogs will go into second spot on the premiership table. Ball goes the way of Lockie Morphew. He slaps it to the ground, picked up by his opponent in the Callum Teakle, and both players fall over the ball, and the umpire has no option but to come in and throw the ball up again. Time ticking by in this final term. 1 minute played with thanks to GT Russell Chartered Accountants.
Hello to Grant, who's at a very busy time at the moment, tax time, and if you're looking for a great chartered accountant, you couldn't go past GT Russell. You'll find him in Marine Terrace. Michelle, his lovely wife, also hello to you. She follows the footy just like a lot of people here in the Midwest. Well, goes away Farris, one of my better players to this point, and ditto as he gets it to this player, and we're talking about Bo Walker. Walker makes sure of it as Farris comes down to demand it back. Now Rowan Farris will have a shot on goal. Now Rowan is not a known goal scorer, but he has been pushing himself up quite a bit in recent games that I've seen from Towns, usually a champion in the defence for the Bulldogs. Kick isn't a bad one.
Good kick.
It's a straight one. It's through the middle, and Rowan Farris has scored another goal for Towns, and certainly has given them a firm lead here in our Drennan O'Malley Game Day.
Yeah, just the start that Coach Bo Walker would have wanted, the veteran finishing that
Like a
off.
bit of a set play, wasn't
It
it?
was a beautiful bit of play, yeah, and a good goal. So the margin stretches from 17 to 23. So probably one of the biggest margins. It is the biggest margin of the day as we head into the early stages of this term. But Rowan Farris finished it off beautifully, and the Towns get another goal scorer. Just looking at the goal scorers for Towns to this point, Jalen Parsons has kicked 3. We also have 2 to Arthur Garlett, and singles now to Jay O'Brien, Leon Jones, Drew Forrester, Bo Walker and Rowan Farris. Goal scorers for Northampton, Jack McQuee has 2 as Northampton go forward again. Looking there for Jamie Williams, who's kicked 1. Also Jordan Drage has kicked 1, Callum Teakle 1, and Jamie Williams in fact kicked 2. So the ball goes forward now. Towns putting pressure on the Northampton forwards. Towns get a kick forward. Can they keep it in there? Northampton can. Picked up now by Hampton. Hampton has a shot towards goal. Didn't have the distance. Northampton under trouble, in pressure. Ball goes the way of Sati. He gets it up the ground, looking there for Forrester. Forrester takes them on, kicks it up towards centre wing, looking out there for Arthur Garlett. But Northampton player running with the fly of the ball in Angus Reynolds takes a good mark.
Angus Reynolds on the far side sends it down the pavilion side of Perth International Oval. 2 players go up, no one could take the mark, and the ball is fisted away. The scoreboard reading 67 plays 44 in favour of Towns. Towns, the big improvers in season 2000 and 25. Laments have been finding themselves at the bottom of the premiership table for a few seasons now as they've rebuilt from their halcyon days and starting to pay dividends, as Glenn said. If Chapman Valley lose today and they win, they'll go into second spot. So we'll wait to find the outcome there as the ball goes through the field now for the Bulldogs into the half-forward area and doesn't find the intended target and over the boundary. Don't forget, Forenza on Sunday tomorrow from 10 o'clock. Mayor Jerry Clune will be joining us, Glenn, and there's a lot of information he can share with us, and he'll be talking about that tomorrow when he joins us. Myself and the lovely Nicola DeFore, the Princess of Tiltley Rise, and he'll be joining us tomorrow, Forenza on Sunday from 10. The ball going further afield now. Nice mark by Eberle. Eberle takes a nice grab. He fell back in the fly to the ball, and now we'll have a shot on goal. So just when we thought Towns were getting the upper hand, Northampton have pushed their way back, and a goal here by Gus Eberle will be an important one. And he's in a pretty good position. We're almost right behind him here from our makeshift studio on the veranda of the country club here at Northampton. He's about 30 metres out, 25-30 metres out on a 45-degree angle, but he's kicked it off the side of his boot, and it came back but not enough, and hits the post and is recorded as a point.
Technical Mechanical Services, the scoreboard here at Northampton, and a good scoreline for Towns. Towns 10-7, 67, Northampton a 6-9, 45. As the ball comes back in, picked up by Hampton, he takes them on, tries to kick the ball forward, looking up there for some run from a teammate. The umpire says the ball goes out of bounds. The boundary throw in will take place just metres around from the right point post at the golf club end here at Percher International Oval. Been a magnificent day for footy, hardly a breath of breeze, a little bit of breeze favouring the southern end, but the sun is shining, although it's not all that warm in the shade. It's a very, very pleasant day as we see another shot on goal and another minor score results. So looking at the TMS scoreboard, it is Northampton 6-10, 46, Towns at 10-7, 67. It's almost the same amount of scoring shots, but Towns in a pretty comfortable position now as Bo Walker grabs the ball from half back, kicks it up towards half forward, looking up there for Arthur Garlett. In goes Lockie Morphew, feeds a handball out towards McGregor. McGregor takes them on, breaks the tackle, and Drew McGregor kicks it up towards full forward.
Nice mark.
Running with the fly to the ball is the Towns player who took a good mark at Cale Corlett. Cale Corlett is in the right forward pocket, just below the
beautifully weighted kick, that one from McGregor, Glenn.
Yeah, lovely kick indeed. So Cale Corlett probably put a nail in the coffin at the early stages of this final term, with thanks to GT Russell Chartered Accountants. Still plenty of time to play, but the margin is starting to creep out a little bit now if he can kick this goal. So let's see how Cale goes. There goes his kick. Looks pretty good. Goal umpire signals the ball is gone about out of bounds on the full, in fact.
So right across the face of goal.
I didn't hear the whistle. So, yeah, the umpire blew the whistle, the boundary umpire. So it went out of bounds on the full, so the ball will come back, and Northampton defence will bring the ball back into play. So that's Jared Woodcock waiting for the ball to be returned. So good to see they have nets here at Northampton like they do at Mazzucchelli Oval now, which does help to a great extent because the boundary umpires are not paid to retrieve the ball. As the ball comes the way of the Northampton player there, gets it up towards Holmes. Holmes gives it to Harris. Harris on half back, kicks it up towards centre wing. Nobody home for the Rams. Bo Walker is home for the Bulldogs. Bo Walker kicks it up the ground, and he gets it to a teammate there. Goes the way of Mason. Mason back to Walker. Walker up towards full forward, up they go. Almost a good mark taken by the Northampton player, but a good bit of play from Drew Forrester, and Drew Forrester gets a very, very good goal indeed. And Drew Forrester on the TMS scoreboard for Towns sees the scoreboard roll over, and Towns in control now. Towns at 11-7, 73. They lead Northampton 6-10, 46. And that is Drew Forrester's second goal of the afternoon.
And going around the grounds for the City of Greater Geraldton, and also Kirrily War, the member for Geraldton, Glenn, up there at Mullawa Brigades have a handy lead, 13-11, 89. and they're leading Mullawall 7-4-46. And I'm not quite sure if that is a three-quarter time score, but it would be pretty close.
Yeah, but it shows that really since half-time, at quarter-time, there was only a goal in it in favour of Mullawall, but since then we've seen Brigades that pile on 9 goals to Mullawall's 2, so Mullawall running out of puff and Brigades starting to flex their muscles, which generally is the way.
I can smell pizzas in the oven behind me, Glenn.
Yeah, it's a good day for a pizza, I would say.
It
Ball goes the way of Cohen Fletcher.
We're getting all the smells from the kitchen.
Cohen Fletcher goes up looking to Hebley, and the ball slapped away from him by Sati. So the ball will be thrown back in, and we've played 9.5 minutes in this final term, and a pretty entertaining game of footy. Northampton came in as underdogs, and they were probably unlucky not to get the score on the board.
I suppose the interest in this particular round at the moment now, Glenn, is the game out at Nabawal, which was pretty one-sided early, but has really closed the gap, has closed significantly.
As we see Northampton shoot on goal. Good bit of play from the young Northampton player there in Max Bramwell. And Max Bramwell gets his first goal of league footy. Well done.
He roved off the pack, Glenn.
Yeah, he did it well, didn't he? So really great effort and a good goal there. So to Northampton's credit, they keep trying. They keep trying to get the ball forward, and Max Bramwell gets his first league goal. But look at the way his players reacted, his teammates, and Max Bramwell has got a goal on the board for the Rams. So Rams keeping in configurations on the TMS scoreboard, which is the technical management services and maintenance services, and it is Towns 11-7-73, and Northampton now with that goal from Bramwell, a 7-10-52. So we've got a 21-point ball game here at Percher International Oval.
And out there at Neville was only, what is it, something like 19 points? 18 points in favour of Chapman Valley at last
three-quarter time.
Yes.
Yep.
Ball going forward now for Northampton. They've their mojo back somewhat as they get it down into their half-forward area once again, but the scoreboard is only 11 points in favour. I should say, no, 20. No, we'll go 73 plays 52. Still a handy lead to Towns. I won't go into the mathematics there because I'll get myself tongue-tied and my mind confused, but Matty, our technical advisor, has told me it's 19 points in favour of Towns. Thank you, Matty. Glad we brought you along. The ball coming out of the passage of play there, and Marquis, he's been in a lot of it this afternoon, probably Towns' best of field, and he's a recipient of a free kick. There's not much of him, but he gives his all. He's got good skill, and certainly has a good head on his shoulders as well. As the ball goes inboard now, and it's picked up by the Towns player there, who puts it onto his boot into the half-forward area. They can get another goal here if they can play on. The ball goes the way of a couple of players who are curtailed in their efforts. Great defensive work by Northampton. Right in the last line of defence, they put on a vice-like tackle and get out of danger. The ball coming out of defence now, and on the half-back line, it's still with the Rams. Have they got time to close the gap even more as it goes down the line? But a nice mark as the Go-Go Gadget arms go up of Leon Jones Jr. and he takes a fine mark.
As we go around the grounds with thanks to the City of Greater Geraldton and Kirralie War, the member for Geraldton, out at Mazzucchelli Oval. Chapman Valley at the moment at 12-7-79. They lead Railway 7-8-50, so a 29-point margin there in favour of Chapman Valley.
A couple of goals.
Yes,
we last
against the breeze too.
Yeah, we last heard, so maybe that's enough for them, Glenn.
Well, it's still a little bit of time. I think the game's probably running at the same time as this, so still 10 minutes probably to play in that game, but interesting to see how it plays out. Ball now with Northampton, and the player with the ball is Angus Reynolds. And a good mark taken by Jamie Williams. He's been really good this afternoon.
I was going to say he has been good.
Yeah, he's been
consistent, really, hasn't he?
Very good young player. Well, he's a senior player now, but he goes into the good players for the Rams with that mark. Good effort. He's working hard. Ball goes up the ground just in front of our Radio Mama broadcast box here at Northampton Oval. We're sitting out the front of the country club, enjoying the beautiful day and enjoying the atmosphere.
And the smells from the kitchen.
Yeah, well, you keep bringing that up, Peter. And we'll probably order a big pizza and a burger for the trip home as the ball comes back into play. And once again, I've really been wrapped with the way Callum Teagle's played today. This is one of the best games I've seen Callum play. He's been.
I agree.
Yeah.
I agree.
Yeah.
And he's certainly up against one of the up-and-coming ruckmen
and he's got the
in
free
the competition.
kick.
Yeah.
He beat Lockie on that occasion.
The
ball
haircut's
goes
done
away.
wonders.
And Northampton, that's what Rex Hebley gets it up the ground, but only as far as the boundary line. So there'll be a boundary throw-in. Drew McGregor about to come back on for the Bulldogs. So we'll see Drew Forrester come off, and we'll also see another Towns player coming back on as well. So Drew
So
Forrester.
Callum's pop grabbed your attention a little bit earlier on, so you might be thinking he's doing all right as well.
Yeah, that's right. Exactly. And gets the ball thrown back in. Does the umpire, the boundary umpire, goes the way of young Leon Jones, but Leon tried to keep the ball in, but he got caught over the boundary line. And the players are saying, well, that was deliberate. The umpire said, no, it was just a bit of good luck on his part. Waiting for the boundary umpire to... Player's got a bit of blood. Young Rex has got some blood on his face somewhere. And he's going off for a run. So he'll be replaced. And the player coming back on is the young man in Darcy Mulgrew. So the ball to be thrown back in. Time ticking by in this final term. GT Russell Chartered Accountants. Ball thrown in.
Almost 50 minutes gone in the final term.
Ball comes back into play. Running with the flight of the ball is the Towns player who is drugged to the ground. Umpire said he had no prior opportunity, which is a fair call. And the umpire, Cody Miguel, will come in and throw the ball.
Things slowing down a lot, Glenn, and as you'd expect, getting to the end of this game, it has been played at a frenetic pace.
Yeah, it's been a really good quality game
so far this season. Stoppages have been minus, a lot of running, free-flowing game, open game, as the ball goes forward again now for Northampton off the boot of Woodcock. Finds the boundary though, but not on the full. Be thrown in deep attack once again for Northampton. This is Radio Number, the home of GNFL football. GT Russell Chartered Accountants bringing you this, the final term. Don't forget the Gerald Hotel. As I said, might be a bit chilly up there on the rooftop tonight, but a few fires happening and a nice meal and a nice bevy, and I think you'll enjoy the atmosphere. The Gerald Hotel, right in the centre of Geraldton. So the ball about to be thrown in once again. Good crowd in attendance here this afternoon, as we said, Glenn, when we know that the Derby is on as well.
Yes, it's good to see local footy. There's been lots of people at the footy this year, which
There
is
has.
good to see.
It's been great to see. We've had great attendances in
Well,
the
they're
games that we've been at.
probably enjoying the footy at a local level more
And
than
live
AFL
and
level.
local.
Yeah,
that's what it is.
right.
Live and local. You're seeing it, the action in front of you. It's not replayed. It's all happening as you see it.
Authentic, isn't it?
Yeah, that's right. The ball coming in now. Players setting themselves not far from our broadcast position. Goes away of a player quickly. That's Morphew. Tries to get it out to a teammate, but is unsuccessful. It's going to be bottled up a bit more, as I've just indicated, as the game comes to a crescendo. And the score at this point is 74 plays 52, and we've had almost 16 and a half minutes gone in the final term.
Yes, as the ball goes the way of the Towns players trying to get it over his shoulder. Picked up now by Northampton's Jackson Eastoff. He gets it up the ground, looking for a teammate there in Gus Hebley. So the ball goes out of bounds. There'll be a boundary throw in on the half-forward line at the Country Club side of the ground, near the golf club end, I should say, on the Country Club side of the ground, however. Ball comes back into play. Ball slap forward. Lockie Morphew had the best of that one. Ball goes to ground. Picked up now by his teammate who slaps it on his boot. Caddy couldn't mark it. Goes back towards McGregor by hand to O'Brien. Towns on the run now, and a good mark taken there by the Towns player running with the flight of the ball, Aiton Mason. His work rate has been good this afternoon. Aiton Mason with the ball on centre wing, kicking up towards half forward, looking up there for Lewis, but a good mark taken by the Northampton defender, and the Northampton player does well. In fact, it's Callum Teakle who's certainly powered away this afternoon, taking some good marks around the ground, gets it away and gets it the way of the player there in Kai McVie. McVie goes with a short pass and finds Jared Woodcock. Jared Woodcock with the ball, another short pass, and picks out a teammate. That teammate looking for some movement. He gets some now, and that was Jackson Eastoff getting up the ground, looking up there for Hebley, but Hebley has two to beat. One of them is a very fast and clever player, Leon Jones. Gets the boot away just at the nick of time, barely 15 metres, but the umpire says yes it was. Goes the way of player in Farris. He gets it up the ground, looking up there for Connor Lewis. Connor Lewis plays on quickly, and he's found a teammate and that teammate says slow the ball down, and Cale Collette is that player. He goes by hand to Aiton Mason, and he gets it up the ground. There's the man again.
Forrester.
Drew Forrester. He's kicked 2 this afternoon, lining up
Captain
for goal number
courageous.
3.
He is, and he pretty confident there. He found good position to Drew Forrester. Mason just lifted the eyes, or lowered the eyes, I should say. He lowered the gaze, and he saw his captain waiting there for the ball, and he did let him down. So now Forrester will have a shot on goal. As I said, Glenn headed out to walk-away way earlier in the week, and Canola is sprung in the walk-away area as Forrester, a farmer in that district, puts it straight through the middle, and Towns solidify their lead, and certainly solidify their win, one would think, as they go to 12 goals, 8-80, and they lead Northampton 7-10-52.
Yeah, good goal to Drew Forrester. He's finished the game very strongly with 3 goals in the second half, and he runs the game out. He's a good young player. He's gone through the hoops because Towns have had some tough years the last few years. They made him a captain as a young man. He played in defence, but now he's gone on to the ball, and he continues to improve, so well done.
And he's worked, it seems that he's worked on his fitness in the last couple of seasons.
Well, he's lost a lot of weight too.
He has, and he, not that he was overweight, but he's sort of slimmed down to a style of footballer where he's given himself a bit more pace.
Well, that's right, so he can play in the midfield and be able to run the game out. The ball comes forward this time to Northampton. They get it up towards half forward. Ball goes the way of a Towns player, slaps the ball forward. Josh DeLacy, he started the game, haven't heard a lot of him.
Yeah, he's gone quiet, hasn't he?
Yeah, he's usually a very good player and still is a good player, but he went out of the game for a period. Gets the ball from Farris to Marquis, back to the man of the moment in Forrester. Takes the ball, one bounce, short pass, beautiful pass it is too. And he finds Bo Walker. Walker gets it up the ground, finds a teammate. That teammate finds it out in Collette. Collette goes back in to retrieve it. And interestingly, as we know, we heard at half-time that Jalen Parsons, his yellow card was upgraded to a red card. So he must have watched the film at half-time to see something that he did. And it'll be interesting to see how that plays out in the coming week.
Interesting to see how Towns have kept their confidence up, because Jalen is a very important goal sneak in the side. It kicked 3 goals up to that point, but it hasn't
slowed them down.
It hasn't slowed them down at all.
No. Ball now with O'Brien, Jay O'Brien, the premiership player for Chapman Valley last year. There goes his kick. He gets it into the centre, finds Callum Marquis. He goes with a short pass and finds Josh DeLacy. DeLacy now, straight up the ground, up towards full forward, and running with the flight of the ball, and running towards the flight of the ball is Lachlan Morphew. So Lachlan takes a very good mark. So Lachlan Morphew is 45 metres out, directly in front. Hasn't scored a goal this afternoon, and has an opportunity now. He's a long way out. He's looking for someone to run past. Nobody is running past. They say, you kick it yourself, Lachlan. So Lachlan, can he put the nail in the coffin of the Rams this afternoon? There goes Morphew's kick.
Nice kick.
Drop short, off hands. Ball comes to the forward of the pack. A lot of kids on the ground up there. Ball comes the way of a Northampton player. Slams boot to ball, and he's changed his jumper, I think, after he had some blood on it. Ball comes away. Towns player was slung, and that player will pay the penalty. Robert Jensen slung that player. Now there's some pushing and shoving, and Jamie Williams and Drew Forrester doing a bit of pushing and shoving, and the umpire will come in and he'll quickly settle things down. Cody Miguel, the umpire. Free kick will go the way of Northampton. It went the wrong way, I think. It was the Towns player who got slung, not the Northampton player. But there goes the ball. Northampton get the ball forward. Whistle on play. A free kick will go the way of Northampton, and it goes the way of Heberley, this time with the ball. Jack McQuee with the jumper on, I should say. McQuee gets it the way of his teammate, and that teammate runs forward now, uses his pace to good effect. Big kick up towards full forward. Up there goes Hampton. He couldn't hold the ball. Rowan Farris is there. He slaps the ball forward and goes through the boundary line. Another boundary throw in as time ticks by here at Percher International Oval. And the score in the dying stages, Towns 12-8-80, lead Northampton 7-10-52, and there it is, full time at the football, and it's been a very, very good win to the Bulldogs. Towns 12-8-80, They have defeated Northampton 7-10-52, and you're tuned to Radio Mama, your home of GNFL football.
Today's Dren O'Malley Motors Game Day is brought to you by our great sponsor GT Russell Chartered Accountants and Business Advisors, helping your business work for you today and tomorrow. Stay tuned to the home of GNFL football, Radio Mama.
How the hell do we wind up like this? Why weren't we able to see the signs that we missed? Try to turn the tables.